over.
In spite of my rage, I'm still just a rat, and we are Squawking Dead, a podcast pulverizing programs beyond the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we give you news, sometimes we make you laugh, most times we go deep. I'm your host, David Cameo, and I'm joined by...
Me. I had to unmute CosmoMom09. Me. And
Blazy Gardner.
And Bridget, you can find me at youtube.com/@PunkyBrewster. That's PUNKYBRUISETER.
Hey, and we're here to talk to you, with you, about The Walking Dead Dead City's 5th episode of Season 2, titled The Bird Always Knows. That's not right. The Bird Always Knows. And, well, first things first, before we move on to talk about this episode, you may notice that we're here an hour earlier than we usually are, which usually means that nobody will be here when we are. Or am I wrong? Let us know in the chat if you are here, as Sharon D. and Rachel are. Hello, oh hello. Check, check. Second of all, if you happen to be here, you'll notice that I have posted, for those of you who are watching on your television sets, a QR code at the bottom next to our link on the bottom right saying where you can tip us during the stream so you can halt all our gears and get our attention and also show some love when you head to ko-fi.com/squawkingdead/tip. And when you tip us on stream, it will, a robotic voice, very kind robotic voice, will relay your message along with your tip, telling us, asking us what you'd like us to talk about during the stream rather than what we currently are. Usually that happens when we have ADHD and somebody will belt out something, yes, I know this game, it's this game, in the middle of something someone is saying, usually me. And you have that right when you tip us, and you will actually be forgiven for it because I can't be mad at that. I can't be mad at that. So again, you can tip us during the stream, halt all gears, and we will respond to what you are saying because you love us for some reason enough to tip us. We appreciate that. So, moving on to any housekeeping that we may or may not have, I guess we could say with some confidence that The Last of Us Season 2 coverage has now come to a final conclusion, with clips continuing to be released to this day of our final episode, which was really cool. It was really, really long. And to remind everybody else of last week's round of episodes, we released them largely unedited. We just took out the spaces in between words and some minor content cuts, but really not many cuts at all. So let us know if you enjoyed us. Yes, let us know if you enjoyed us, but also if you enjoyed the unedited versions of those episodes. If we do get 10 or more folks who say that they enjoy the unedited versus the usual edited episodes, now you'll have to be listening for a while to know the differences between the two, but our last episode of Dead City and The Last of Us were released largely unedited, and we would like to know if you prefer those over the normal versions. I know we've gotten some mixed results. It's pretty much down the middle, actually, so far, of edited versus unedited, and I've appreciated the feedback thus far. So thank you so much. And yeah, if I'm thinking by the time we record next, we'll do the tally and we'll figure it out, and we'll see where we go from there. Because by then, we'll know how to edit this episode, basically, I guess. Oh, one more bit of housekeeping. We'll, in just a few hours from now, because it is 6 o'clock p.m. on the East Coast of the United States, and in just under 3 hours, or probably a little over 3 hours, we'll be on the MCU's Bleeding Edge, talking about this episode again on their channel. So head on over there. It's actually, if you just search for the MCU's Bleeding Edge on YouTube, you'll find their channel. Why not subscribe to them? Why not enable all notifications? I think I've got Bridget and myself coming on there. Charity, if you want to jump on there, and if you have the ability. It's pretty late. It's 9:30 p.m. on the East Coast. Yeah, the mere thought just gives Rachel anxiety. She's shaking her head right now. She's like, "How do you people do it? It's crazy. Are you not over 40?"
I agreed for this. I'll do it for this.
I was asleep before 9 p.m. last night.
I'm surprised you were up so late.
I know. That's actually late for me.
It's the tragedy. So yeah, check us out there. We'll be lending our thoughts there. I know Hanako from Fandom Hybrid was on there to talk about The Last of Us. I peeped their channel earlier today to see if there was a link that we could share, but there wasn't, and it only just came out. I think an hour ago only, and I was busy getting notes. So yeah, you can get the link for that now and set yourself a reminder on your own YouTube channel so that you'll be notified before we jump on at 9:30 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. What else? Is there any other housekeeping? I know that we're trying to get onto the New York Comic Con circuit. I know that you had some bad news, Bridget, but hopefully we'll get there.
Well,
We'll get there.
it was last time it was you, so just hopefully we're swapping.
The circle is complete. The circle of rejection is complete. So yeah, hopefully we'll have some traction there. I mean, the whole idea being that by then, The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon season 3 will be out, and maybe there'll be a pre-screening of that season of The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, which
They are already filming season 4.
that's what I was getting to. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It just like Fallout last
crazy.
week, the announcement, or it was a week and a half ago, Fallout had announced that they were already filming season 3 before season 2 ever aired. It's the same thing with Daryl Dixon. Season 4 was greenlit before season 3 saw the light of day. Already filming it. Amazing. Amazing. We're eating well. We're eating well, folks. What else? I think that's about it. Oh, well, there is one more tiny thing, and that is to dovetail onto that. If you've been watching on AMC, the amazing thing about The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon season 3 is that they've been dripping scenes from that third season that will be coming in fall. No date has been announced just yet, but it's been pretty cool to see like these 3 to 7 second clips of season 3 of Daryl mostly on his motorcycle, zooming across Portugal and Spain, I guess, I think is the idea. So, and there's a
Clip
little...
of some very handsome man who is going to be a leader of another group, I'm guessing.
Well, and of course, in the last one, there's Stephen Merchant. Nice, lovely surprise. Stephen Merchant, incredible comedian who was he was also the brainchild. Like for most popular audiences, if you don't know who Stephen Merchant is, first of all, shame on you. Second of all, I think he was part of of many brainchild on the original Office in the UK. So if you enjoyed that, he's behind
He's
that.
also he's on a show called Outlaws that's on Prime, I think. It's really good, and for general audiences, he was Amy's the guy that Amy Farrah Fowler went out on dates with when she and Sheldon were broken up on Big Bang Theory.
Oh,
Very tall guy.
very tall British
Tall
fella.
English.
I didn't
Yeah.
know who he was, and I just looked up his picture, and I'm like,
Oh
that
yeah,
guy.
he's that guy for American audiences, probably.
Yeah.
He was also in
There's-
Logan too, by the way, just so you know. He was the metallic skinned person in the beginning. I think that's how I'm gonna call him. He had metallic skin, but he was a mutant. Logan, it was a part of the Sony Pictures Marvel universe, basically. I think it was, yeah.
Based off of Old Man Logan.
Yeah, Old Man Logan, right? The comics. Good catch. So let's get into this episode. I think, right? Any other housekeeping? I can't imagine that there are.
The game was Dark Cloud. I did remember it.
Oh, wow.
She did it.
Oh, wow.
This is a
But I
pre.
waited and I didn't talk over you. I waited until you were done.
Oh, I'm impressed.
Yes.
Nobody knows what we're talking about. That's just how we're gonna leave it. The bird always knows. Rachel, how does the title of this episode relate to what you literally just saw before we went live? Because you were not done watching the episode.
I know. I was finishing it up as you were hitting go live. What was the name of the episode?
Would you be
The bird-
surprised if I had said the episode is called "The Bird Always Knows"?
Is that
That's literally the
That's
title.
what it is, right?
Yeah.
The Bird Always Knows?
Are you surprised after all the episode titles we've heard? What was that?
No.
Hold on. What was? Is a ghost in your house?
I mean,
Is the ghost of Christmas past coming soon?
those are the noises that teenage boys make
Old
when
man
they're
noises?
video gaming. Yes. Yes,
All
they
right,
make
man.
the weirdest noises. Anyway,
It's
so
old
the
man
bird,
Silas.
for real, the bird always knows. So obviously, the story that
Roxana.
Roxana tells us, right? About the bird who picks the piece of paper that has some sort of fortune. No, not a fortune, like a riddle. I imagined like fortune cookie things, right?
Kind of
But
ish.
but like a riddle. And I really enjoyed the one that she told. But ultimately, it doesn't matter, right? That's the point. The point is, it doesn't matter. You can interpret it many different ways depending on your belief system.
Well, what about you? What's your
Um,
personal belief about it? And then we can trade.
well, that we don't have time for all of that.
Why not?
That's
Bridget
like
always makes time.
we really I
Oh, she doesn't like it when it's all
okay.
about you.
I really don't. Don't go, bitch. I mean, stop, stop,
Lucy, for the podcast audience,
Fiona.
Rachel's
It's Fiona.
Rachel's cat Fiona decided to attack her microphone just now.
She just like swung her butt and like butt bounced my microphone
Butt
and then
bounce.
the
Mic condom?
yeah like flew off. Anyway, sorry. Oh my gosh, she does it all the time, but I can usually catch her sooner. That is a loaded topic. Something I'll be honest with. Struggle with sometimes, right? Like, do we have a choice, or are things laid out for us and the choices we make are sort of predetermined and we were always going to make that choice, which is going to lead us down this path and that one? And I don't know. I don't like to think about it because
So you're talking about free will
regardless of
versus the
yeah,
fates and stuff like
yes,
that.
absolutely.
Okay. I love
I
that.
don't I don't
for
like to
us.
think about it too much because I enjoy the illusion that I have a choice
Which means
regardless
that
of
you
what the
do
truth
believe that
is.
things are predetermined, but you love the illusion of choice. I get it.
Well, but I also believe that God did give us free will, and with if we didn't have free will, then things would be planned out for us. But I don't know. Maybe there's a path we're supposed to be on, but free will allows us to divert from that path.
There's an
Yeah,
expression in Judaism if it helps.
there's a right there's good choices and bad choices, and as long as you make the right ones, you stay on the right path. And if you make the wrong choices, you ultimately are choosing a different path.
That's
Not
accurate.
necessarily not necessarily a bad one, just different than maybe what was mapped out for you. But I enjoy. I don't know. It's scary to think about. So someone else can talk now. Uh,
Well, how about this? Let's drill down a little bit further. When it comes to Armstrong, how does that choice or that, let's just say, riddle or that gold piece relate to all the other gold pieces? What do you think he should be taking from that? That it was always going to end up this way?
I think in Armstrong's situation, he should. I mean, it could be comforting, right? I think that's what Roxana's trying to offer him in the moment is comfort. That it doesn't matter what choices you did. You did what you thought was right. You made the best choices possible, and this is where you ended up. And ultimately, it doesn't matter. This is where you are. This is where you ended up, and just feel good knowing you did your best.
I'm going to say this because I fear that I'll forget about it, but we'll talk about it more later. Isn't that basically what happened to Christos? If you don't make a choice, the choice will be made for you.
Oh, sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't
Yeah.
think of that until just now. Look
So
at that, Rachel. Who
I
said
did that on I did that on purpose. I set you up for that.
who? Well, let me put it to you this: I forget about that dumb thing, whatever the thing that I just said. Just the fact that, like, oh, I picked the obvious one first, but no, it was bigger than that. And I'm impressed, and I made animated face noises.
That was great.
Anybody else with the bird always knows?
Sure. There's a saying, a canary in the coal mine, because back in old time mining days, they would take canaries down into the coal mine with them because if there were dangerous gases, it would take the canary out first, and they would know that they needed to get out. Which, so I feel like there's a tie-in somewhere with the methane and gassing of Christos.
Well, and the bird was yellow. Her uncle's bird was yellow. That's the first thing I
canary,
thought of
yeah.
when she said that. Yeah.
Also, the thing that fell on the Dama at the end looked like a golden bird cage that was surrounding her, like she was trapped in the bird cage.
And isn't her room kind of just this gilded, which is it's so telling for someone who wanted to erase the past. She found herself reliving it. Isn't that crazy? She bit the writer who wrote The Little Empress, is what the Croat basically called her. The Little Empress was the play that the writer wrote that she bit she bit the writer. She bit the Croat who wrote her destiny, who then had it erased.
Why was she dressed like Uncle Fester though?
Here's the thing. Somebody in costuming.
That's all I could think of. It was something about that last scene, like the way she like turned.
She
I
swished.
was like, what is happening? I'm like, why is she looking like Uncle Fester right now? Because she's been wearing that same weird, I'm gonna call it a house coat.
A
'cause that's what it
frock?
looks like
I was
to
going
me.
to say a frock, but
It
yeah.
looks like a house coat to me. She's just living her best life in a house coat every day, which can't blame you, sister. I'm in my pajamas as soon as I get home. So
Isn't this the jumpsuit conversation all over again? Because
But when she turned, Dave, when she turned, it gave Uncle Fester like very hard.
gave Uncle Fester. Because here's the thing, I think somebody made a bet with the costuming department saying, "Listen, I'm going to make this look exactly like Uncle Fester's. Obviously, we're going to tailor it to Lisa Emery's figure because, yes, she's giving."
But they didn't
yes.
though. That's why it was giving Uncle Fester, because it was like, just
Well,
like a
But
bell.
it still was like slim
Uncle
up here,
Fester Uncle Fester could power light bulbs with his mouth, and she is responsible for power in the city.
There you
though. This
go.
is where
I
we've
love it.
descended. It's great. I like it. Why don't you? No, I was just going to say, though, that if she can pull it off and nobody notices, right, because it's Lisa Emery, she can pull off Fester better than Fester can pull off Fester.
I mean,
Say that
I
10
noticed
times
it
fast.
this time,
And there you go.
but only in this episode. She's looked like Uncle Fester all along the way. I just realized
She
it
gives way
now.
more Fester when she's festering with anger.
It was something about the full body swish. It was almost like a Batman turn. Like,
Oh, yeah,
no
because he
neck
can't turn his
movement.
neck, right, yeah.
Yeah, no neck movement, just a full turn, like a full pivot.
Joker.
And yeah, that's what made me think of Uncle Fester.
But with a swish. Right, with a swish.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
The cowl.
Princess is used to wearing a crown, so she's got to hold her neck still when she turns.
Oh, yeah, wow, poor thing. Wow. So anybody else for the bird always knows?
Also, Toucan Sam used to sing "Follow My Nose, It Always Knows," and every time he said the bird always knows, I thought about that. So, all my '80s kids out there,
Agreed.
Fruit Loop Sam.
Yeah, Fruit Loop Sam right now is like, now he's on surfboards and skateboards. He's going cowabunga or something. I don't know. Some weird thing that he isn't known for.
I must go. My planet needs me.
The planet loop, where we forage for fruits on your planet, and we come back to the planet loop. I am Toucan Sam in my language. His name in real life is Fester.
Feather,
A festering feather.
Uncle Feather.
Yeah.
Uncle Feather.
Anywho, let's move on to something else, everybody.
Please? Can I ask a quick question about this bird scenario?
Well, that's kind of what I was asking earlier.
Because, like I said earlier, I can't see anything in this episode when I watch it during
Oh,
the day.
good call.
Because the light in my house, comes in from the windows, and God forbid there's any light on the television, because then that's all I can see. That and me like this in the screen.
looking at you, I'm looking at me, looking at the TV, going, "Who did this episode?"
Like, I don't know why, but I have triple chins when it happens.
Yikes!
Always. It's like when you catch yourself on your phone suddenly, and you're like,
You're like this with the neck thing.
why is it like that?
Yeah.
So I couldn't see anything for a lot of these scenes. So I have several questions, but one of them relates to the birds. Not the birds, the bird. Um, it wasn't plural. There was not more than one.
Was there any
And
bird?
the little riddles.
Gold.
The little riddles. Was the riddle actually on paper or was it also on a gum wrapper?
No, it was
Because
just
what was that?
it was just gold rocks. They're just little gold
Were they?
pebbles.
Because it looked like wrapped up gum wrappers.
It looked like
filled with
like
these
silver,
to me.
like
no,
crunched
they were
up.
like little pebbles.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was only
Yeah.
one piece of paper.
There weren't any.
There weren't any.
There were no pieces.
I'm with you,
no
Bridget.
pieces of
It looked
paper.
like crumbled up paper until
It
they
did.
when they showed it in his hand really
Like
close
through
up.
his fingers. Yeah.
Then it's
Then
like
it looked
Mhm.
like a rock.
right. Then it's
Okay.
like it looked like iron pyrite, almost like fool's gold. With
That's
the
what I was
edges
thinking,
and
yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
But I'm pretty
the
sure it was
uncle-
gold.
The uncle just always made up the riddle. Was the whole thing.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
the bird always knows
Well-
is an absolute sham.
Exactly.
Well-
What I took from it was either one, the paper was blank and he made it up. He made up whatever he wanted, or it was all the same. They were all the same one.
I got you.
oh,
Okay.
you know, it just reminded me
Yeah,
of
that was the feeling I got when she dumped all the rocks out in her hand,
Right.
and it was like these.
It didn't matter
there was
which
no,
one he chose.
Right, it didn't matter which one you pulled out because they were all the same.
because it wasn't the
In
bird
In my
that
head, I
always
was
knew.
like, that's obviously gum wrappers because you could write on the inside.
Or like the little. Remember those
I mean,
little
yeah.
I'm
kid games like
feeling
the
very
Because remember
stupid
you used to
right
get
now.
gum with foil. You know, you got like the
Yeah.
shiny foil on the gum. I was with you, Bridget. I thought the same
I
thing.
love
for
this
me.
so
used-
much.
and we
This
used
is
to-
something I would ask.
We used to use it to make grills. You know.
Is this a
Yeah,
Freaky
like-
Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be a question. I'd be like, how did she know the riddle if she didn't open the wrapper?
Guess the
No,
dough's
like,
done.
I
guess
get
the
that.
dough's done.
I get
everybody.
that. I just was like, okay, was it aluminum foil and then there was one piece of paper that, like, I knew it was like predetermined. That part wasn't lost on me. Like
Okay.
it was whatever
It was everything else.
that one riddle. But I'm sorry, the show was really dark, dude.
So let me comment
Mm-hmm.
on the darkness a little bit because here's I feel I hate going into this territory, but we're gonna. So yeah, you remember Game of Thrones season 8? It's kind of like that, right? That one episode where they were in Winterfell, basically fighting the
It was the
dead,
the
essentially.
the battle, right? The
Yeah.
last battle.
But do you remember also Fear the Walking Dead season 4? And who is doing director of photography for this season of The Walking Dead Dead City? Of all the things they're getting right, and for the most part, the color science in this season of Dead City makes a little bit more sense. They interweaved a little bit of season 1 of Dead City in the episode or Insider, and season 1's colors were kind of just very weirdly vibrant in certain areas where it probably shouldn't have been. Whereas this season is more accurate. However, as was Fear the Walking Dead, season 4 was a little darker, and that's Adam Sushitsky, basically.
You know what, Dave? I'm gonna concur with you because I have noticed that I am attracted to vibrant colors on television shows. Like I like brightly. The first soap opera I ever started watching was Days of Our Lives, and I started watching it because they were on a deserted island, like a jungle tropical island. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very attracted to bright, vibrant colors in the shows, and I have been struggling with this season, like even being interested in. I think part of it might be the color that you're talking about. The other part of it is I think I was really more interested in Maggie and Negan when they were together on the show, and since they're apart, like not even hate bang jokes aside, like their dynamic together was way more fun than watching them on opposite sides and not being on the screen together.
That's something else that was mentioned in the episode or Insider. The first thing that was mentioned was that when Maggie and Negan get together, there's this sparks fly tension. There's always going to be that. And that made sense that season. The color scheme did make sense because having the color contrast the tension means that things are just more vibrant and electric. And somebody could get electrocuted at any moment or a knife being pulled on them every single episode basically of the season. So, but this season, since they're apart, it's more dull. And then doesn't it go to that article that we read at the beginning of the 2 episodes ago? Was it the 3rd episode where we talked about, well, Negan should die in this season, or Let's retire this old man. Well, he's so dull.
I thought he was retiring himself there for a second when he got up and almost fell down. I was like, oh, thank God there's a methane leak. JDM's like not up to this.
1 minute, I'll be with you 1 minute. Like talk about the coal miner's cough. Excuse me. So yeah, there you go. I don't know. Maybe that will actually change though, considering where the season seems to be going. I mean, when Bruegel came onto the scene in the Forges area, it did seem like the color started to shift a little bit, because he pops. Kim Coates pops a little bit in every single scene.
He does.
Like the yellows
He
and the
had
golds.
one line. He had one line, and it was my favorite line.
Oh, you're not gonna say it?
Looks like I was late to the party.
Looks like I was late to the party.
I was too busy laughing and ha-ha-haing.
Did you notice us going, why'd she turn French when she...
Yeah,
No,
so
I
said.
couldn't. I
We were like,
took my headphones off. That was my excite. I got excited. I got excited.
I enjoyed that they were using weapons that were obviously from the museums. Pikes and swords and halberds and like battle axes and stuff. That's a lot of fun. Just like last week, I'm sorry I missed last week, but my favorite thing about last week was the painting. Like I totally got into learning all about that painting.
So who's gonna do the voice when I do this? Tap it, tap it. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, tap it. Yeah, Silas, come on, man. Anywho, all right. Well, and then speaking of medieval times, well, I mean, maybe not, but we find out that Christos is not Greek, but he is Dutch. And he has a Dutch colony, essentially. And well, folks, I didn't even write this down in my notes, but who founded Manhattan if not the Dutch, originally the Dutch in the 1600s, was it? 1622?
1600s. Mm-hmm.
And they actually named, the first ones to name, Manhattan came from the native peoples, but Wall Street.
It was New Amsterdam.
Right.
It was New Amsterdam.
New Amsterdam.
Right.
And Wall Street was originally named because the Dutch had built a piked wall with dead bodies hanging from those pikes to ward off incoming colonists.
People today have a view of the Dutch as like, they just grow tulips and smoke weed. But let me tell you something about the Dutch back in the 16 to 1700s. They were vicious. Yes, they were vicious. The Dutch East India Company basically was a country unto itself that did whatever it wanted to.
Right.
For the most part.
Well, and also, it really does dovetail with Bruegel also. Bruegel being Pieter Bruegel. Bruegel is the Dutch pronounce it, I think it is. He's we talked about him a little bit last week, but he made social commentary about the way things were with the aristocracy as opposed to the ordinary people and how ridiculous things were rather than how virtuous and aspiring that things were. And so I kind of like to see, well, we won't get to see anything from Christos's people, I guess, maybe, unless they're not through with them yet, which I hope they are, really, for the most part. But I don't know, where do we go from here? Because we can go, and there's so many actually, I did want to weigh in a little bit on The Bird Always Knows.
Wait a minute, Dave, before you move on real quick, I have a question. I may have missed it.
I was going back, but
did we, or did you guys talk about where, I'm going back a couple episodes, where the Goya painting came from?
Came from?
Right, did you talk about how it was actually in Spain? And how that could be a tie-in to...
Oh, we didn't talk about
Dixon,
the tie-in, but...
because Bruegel... Where did Bruegel get it from Spain? Is it something that... Because now we know that Daryl Dixon's going to be in Spain. So is there a tie-in somewhere where that's how they got the painting? And it was just something I didn't know if you guys had talked about it or not.
So I had written in my notes for that episode that when we finally got confronted with the Met, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, the signs outside in the apocalypse episode we were looking at were from today. They were not from back then, back before the apocalypse. They're from exhibits happening currently right now. Yes. 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 I wanted to mention that just because it's funny. Like it's too funny to like they just didn't bother going back to see what photos might have looked like from that time period. They just said, "Hey, we'll just use what's there now." It's fine. It's totally fine. Literally happening right now. It's silly. The what were we going to talk about now? Oh yeah, so the Goya thing. I don't. Maybe that's all I can say. It's a kind of a tongue in cheek, I guess, reference to it. But we did talk about where it came from, who did it, right? It was in his home in I forget exactly where, but they were actually taken from the walls of his home, so they were actually cut out of the walls from his home to be displayed on frames.
I remember us talking about the painting itself. I couldn't remember if we talked about that particular aspect of it, about the possibility of the connection between Daryl in Spain and the painting coming from Spain. How did Bruegels get it from Spain?
Yeah,
Bruegel.
Bruegel,
Bruegel.
Bruegel. So the bird always knows. So that actually having it refer to Roxana's uncle, who made children happy and tried to give them a little bit of advice, but used the bird as a vehicle for that excuse. But she also says, "Do you want to know what sad is?" Because she's relaying this to Pearlie, knowing what he always knew the end was going to be, and continuing to run away from that choice. And if you don't make that choice, the choice is going to be made for you, essentially. It's all in how you face that choice. And whether you stay ahead of it, whether you meet it, or whether you fall behind it and have the choice made for you, and then it's out of your hands at that point, then you're not prepared. But also, it's the same thing with her Roxana's uncle, though, too. When she talked about how in Iran, how her uncle was conscripted to fight the Iraqis, or the war in Iraq, that really struck a chord with me because my dad had told me a long time ago that when they were living in Syria, what the Ottomans did to fight the French was they conscripted his uncle and his father's father to the front lines. And this is what they did commonly with the Jews in the region. You know, we had Jews in Syria, Morocco, Lebanon, Iraq, all over the Middle East, North Africa, Libya, Tunisia, Egypt, and Algeria. And what ended up happening was many of the leaders in those countries to fight, you'd say to fight colonialism, but there was conquest all around the region. And essentially what happened was the Ottomans were one of the last empires basically in the region before they started drawing mandates towards independence. And a lot of the Jews were drafted to fight the colonist forces, to fight in the front lines, and they never came back. And this story kind of resonated with me as well. Like, do you know what's sad is dying for nothing, essentially. Being sent to the front line specifically to die for nothing, to get rid of a problem, which maybe will bring us to a parallel in this episode. Like, I'm skipping past the sadness of that statement and moving on to a parallel. And that is a question. Do you think that the Dama sent Negan alone, her intention, to Christos to get rid of her own problem? Shall I repeat the question?
I thought she sent him mostly to anger the Croat, like needle the Croat. I mean, that was just my take on it. Like, she was like, no, you stay here. I'm gonna send Negan because he can get it done, while you can't do anything without me. I'm the only reason you can do anything. So that was the feeling that I got. But I can see what you're saying.
It's what it feels like too, because if you think about it, she sent him without the methane, but he took methane with him anyway. See, that's the thing. He was not supposed to bring the methane originally. It's like, oh, what do we? Because that worked out so well for you the first time, but he took it anyway. Well, apparently the Croat provided it with him. There was no conversation. That was what was so weird. He wasn't supposed to bring the methane according to their conversation with the Dama, but he ended up bringing it anyway. I guess maybe the Croat was waiting in the car or something, or I don't know. But I guess it was there, and you know that it was brought by the Croat because the Croat had told his men to, release the methane throughout their conversation, their however an hour long conversation. Anyway, that's the feel. It could go either way, but my feeling was similar to Roxana's conversation with Pearlie. I think the Dama was trying to tell Negan, "Oh, but we're having so much fun," But I guess, well, it's not strange for her to do that if you go back to the Goya painting itself. What was the Goya painting depicting? She knows Negan is a top dog that has had power. Croat talked a big game about Negan, why they need him, what he managed to do all by himself. And if she allowed Negan to stick around long enough, she knows that Negan would climb over her rule and take over, wouldn't she? Wouldn't he? So and having that being held over him,
Well,
his kids.
I feel like that's kind of what he just did. Like, he totally orchestrated that. Although I don't know that he knew it would end with her death, but he figured he was going to take one of them out.
I think
And
so
either
too.
one of them is somebody he would have to step over to lead again. So, but does he really want to lead again, or does he just want to find out where Annie and I can't Joshua, where Annie and Joshua are?
No, I totally agree with you. I think he would rather deal with one at a time, and whichever one was going to be taken out. Now, here's the thing: would he have preferred to take out the Croat or the Dama? Is the question.
Well, I feel like he understands the Croat more. Like he knows what the Croat will do, right? He could probably second guess his moves, whereas like maybe the Dama was more inscrutable to him. He doesn't understand how she operates and how she thinks. So she was more of a danger because she is more volatile in for him because he can handle the Croat, whereas handling her is a different story.
Right, right. Well, and you
Other
don't.
than outright killing her. And I mean, just outright killing her, which wouldn't be good because then everybody would turn against him. So he has to figure out a way to handle her
Including
without just outright killing her.
right, including the Croat, right? The Croat would be upset if he was the one to
I
take
mean,
out her.
it might even be that he took out two birds with one stone because are the people going to turn on the Croat once they realize what he's done? And Negan's going to be who they naturally look towards.
I think the Croat, well, I mean, you guys tell me. Well, the Barazzi follow the Croat essentially, right? I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think.
they're his army, really.
Yeah, I don't think he was lying when he said, "I gave you everything. Like you may have brought me back to life, but I'm the one who did everything else."
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. And I don't even know, Negan may be reluctant to kill the Croat even just due to he didn't kill him the first time around.
Tried
He
to.
could have. He could have and he didn't. Um so I don't know. I'm not really sure. I don't think he intended it to necessarily work out this specific way. I think he thought maybe he was getting the Croat out of the way. The thing is that the Croat is too volatile and he's like screwing things up. And Negan's just trying to get this plan to work so that the Dama feels like he's completing the job that he agreed to do so that he can keep his family safe. But the Croat keeps throwing wrenches in that because he reacts with his emotions. And
What a
so like he comes
punchline.
in and he's like, "Hey, oh yeah, I've been poisoning you all." And then he's like,
Common
so the
ground
Dama,
can't be established without.
he's and Negan even says like the Dama told you to kill them, and he is reluctant to say anything because that's not what he was asked to do. He's going above and beyond because every time she stepped on his ego a little, he then went full force the other direction.
Which is
He's supposed to be cleaning up his mess. He made twice the mess.
that's interesting too because I was going to ask you about that next because I was wondering whether because I think you may be right that the Dama did not explicitly say to kill all those people. However, I wonder whether that's what the Dama whether that was the Dama wanted all along from the Croat. And then the criticism is all meant to get him to do what she ultimately wants him to do anyway.
You don't have an army if you kill everyone. I'm sorry, but like it's foolish. I could see that being your end game months from now, but it can't happen now. You need an army to defend against New Babylon, and your head guy is out here just axing everybody off. Like, don't worry about it. I'm taking care of it because my pride was hurt. And you're like, okay, well, how are we going to defend Manhattan now?
Well, that's what I wonder. I think that's why she sent Negan. You weren't there when I mentioned this, but I think
Yes,
she
that
sent.
is why.
I think she sent Negan to get rid of him. She sent him. He was supposed to go without the methane originally because the crowd's like, we'll give him methane. She's like, you idiot! Why would we give them stuff? Because they're ass a-holes. And then Negan gets the methane and brings it anyway because I guess the Croat was probably riding in tow. He's like in the car, so he gets the methane anyway. He was supposed to come alone with nothing. And this is just after the conversation they had about Annie and Joshua. Like, okay, this is it, right? That's it. And I get my kid and my wife, right? Right? No, operative word is deal. Bitch. Because like obviously like he's doing it on purpose. Like can we cut to the chase? I'm not going to get strung along here. This was the deal, right? I didn't want to do this to begin with, blah, 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 but you promised something, deliver, right? So she sent him out there alone, knowing very well that he humiliated Christos in the last episode, or two episodes ago, or 3 episodes, the first episode.
Sure. Yeah.
So I think and now the bonus side of that is if Christos takes out Negan, I think he would actually be amenable to joining the Dama's cause, right? Because if you take out, you feel a little bit more emboldened. You're like, well, like, I mean, I got rid of the guy that kind of humiliated me, so, but maybe he has a point. I don't know.
It was an unusual choice on her end to send Negan if she wanted, but she keeps saying
She
like
wanted
Negan
peace?
is perpetually disappointing her.
That Negan is perpetually disappointing her?
Like he's not living up to the hype that she thought he would.
Mm.
Because the
Also-
crowd really talked him up as this like really vilified guy, and he's just not that guy anymore.
He really wasn't doing that good of a job until he noticed the little kids. Like
Yeah.
he was going, and that totally changed the way he approached it. And that approach is what got him, well, almost got them to join.
Which nobody could have expected, really. That's the key.
Right.
Had she known about his history with children, and it's just regardless of what weird things you can draw up to say, no, he never liked children, but they decided to retcon him. Whatever. That's what we're going with. Yeah, I mean, Negan did... Okay, season 8 of The Walking Dead. We find out... I mean, what is Gracie, if not an example of that? Whom Aaron eventually adopts. Like, the whole idea of that was that, yes, there were children there. Yes, there were parents and families that he was protecting, regardless of his methods. Him being the top dog, deciding every little thing, and allowing the lieutenants to run amok. The whole point was to have a system whereby people can actually have families eventually, and babies and whatnot. That there was supposed to be something there for people to flourish. And so seeing that, it changes tack, right? So... Because you see Negan, or the Dama sees Negan, and she sees the showboat, the actor, with whom she can criticize as the critic. But she doesn't see why. What was that for? All she knows is the bluster and not the business. So I wonder. Yeah, I don't think she knows as much as she's... But all of this, while we were talking, I thought of something rather fascinating. And this will take me back to the beginning of the episode eventually. But for now, I feel like the Dama only really criticizes people, A, she trusts, and B, she actually cares about. Like, who does she tear into the most? Out of every single person. The Croat, right?
Yeah.
Do you know anybody, because I'm going to say this, I'm going to call out my mom right now. But the people you love the most, and you guys too, you guys criticize me all the time, so I know that you love me. So, and Liz, you're just perpetuating the drama I have with my own mother right now.
Oh, great. Oh, great.
So, just calling you guys out for being who you are with me.
I had a therapist that would have just said that you were doomed to repeat this melodrama for the rest of your life.
Right,
So
what is it called now
there's
again?
that.
The cycle of, what was the specific phrase of that?
I said the melodrama.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's what it
Cyclical
was.
melodrama, that's what it was called.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, but there is this logic to that. The people who love you the most are going to be the most brutal with you. They're going to be the ones first in line to criticize you, as well they should, in no way, but don't maybe just
And,
remember that you're a
but
person.
only sometimes. We're not going to get into this.
Only sometimes.
I'm not gonna
Are you
box your
defending
mom.
yourself?
I'm not going to box your mom on this podcast.
But there is a sides to that, and it's because even when Negan was defending the Karate, she's like, "I'm not talking to you right now." She just like, no, I want to lay into the person I actually care about, whom I can feel free to, because I love this person, to lay
Well,
into.
you do that with people you feel most comfortable with,
Yeah.
which often we view as love and intimacy in some regard. I'm not saying like physical intimacy, but just like, like close family. Like,
Maybe.
um,
I mean, if she has that over him, I could see how easily he could have been swayed.
well, I mean, he
Scratch,
wanted
scratch,
that. He wanted that. Why else did he dress like a bellhop?
Did he
was
deny
for
him
her.
the role
It
play?
was for all for
Yeah, it's for
her.
role play. Yeah.
No, because he thought he was dressing nice for her.
Oh no, I know that on the surface, but as a joke, role play.
Gross. I don't like
Let
it.
me take you up to the 14th floor. There's no 13th floor. Just looking at me very funny right now.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Anywho, well, that does take us back to the beginning of the episode. I want to touch on this really briefly because the first thing you see and hear is the Croat picking out outfits. Why is he picking out a nice outfit for some reason? For the Dama, first of all?
For the Dama.
Okay, why?
That's what I think.
Because he wants to impress her? She's not happy with
Yeah.
him? She's putting him in...
Yeah.
She's in the backseat with Negan now? Is he losing his grip?
Every scene that we've seen with him, he's been trying to vie for like her affections. He wants to impress her. He wants her to be happy with him. And ever since he brought Negan into the picture, it's been nothing but disappointment. So I think he was trying to like, zhuzh himself up a little bit. Like, lady, I'm on your level. Because he really does.
We're partners.
Here's the thing. Like, he's crass, right? Like he's a crass man. But deep down, like he does have an appreciation for the arts. We've seen him singing so often. I mean, like he does have an appreciation for the arts. It's just that
The pigeon
it's
frog
it's presented differently.
Can I pull a Sharondy right now? Because this feels like this is a Sharondy comment. May I? He sees all these nice... What did you say? You were on mute, Rachel. I don't know. Were you trying to say something? Okay. The Sharondy comment would be like, there's all these suits with these nice shirts paired with them, and he puts on we're gonna call it the bellhop suit, the red suit, but then he wears the shirt he always wears underneath it, and it's just like, it was right there. The shirt was, change your shirt, right? The Sharondy tone.
I wondered where you were going with that, but yes, that is 100% true.
Change your dirty, ruddy, gray shirt for that nice square, the perpendicular lined white shirt. That would have looked fly on Željko Ivanek. So I just thought it was a missed opportunity there.
He would have looked like a bellhop either way, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, maybe. And all these ugly ties he was trying to pair with that dumb... Well, I'm not going to say he's a dumb suit, but I feel bad. Because I feel bad for him. Poor guy doesn't have any fashion sense. My goodness. Just the yellow mustard tie. What are you doing, God? Anyway, I guess I built up to this point because the first thing you hear when the episode starts is Ti Ija by Darko Rundek. Sorry, Darko Rundek. And this song I translated, and it is basically a love song.
Oh, okay.
But really, it's okay. I'm gonna tell you the words, but it's gonna lead up to this. I'm gonna use the Croat voice. Oh man, this is offensive. We walk.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
I won't. I
Oh,
won't. I
no,
won't.
don't do it. Don't do it.
We walk alone. I'm running through the streets of the city. It is deep night, and the rain falls softly. Ugh. I'm watching.
Romantic.
I'm watching your ear that's missing. I'm looking at your nose. For a really long time, we weren't that close. Right.
Okay, sure.
Okay. And then Ti means you and me, and that's the chorus of the song. You and I, essentially. We here's the second verse. We float naked over the wet rooftops of the city. It's a pleasant night, and our bodies are young.
Oh,
That had to be read that way, guys. I'm so sorry.
gruesome.
But doesn't that say something? That says a lot, because if you're right and that they haven't gotten together, the song is basically implying we're partners and we've been together for a long time, and what are we waiting for? What have we
I'd like
been
to
waiting
make it
for?
more.
Let's come on. There's no he says right before he's trying to make peace, quote unquote. There's no time to waste, right? Let's make peace. Time is running out. We have to get our act together. Right, Rob Lucchese? I saw him. Yeah. In the chat. Hey, Rob Lucchese. Right, Rob Lucchese. There's no time to waste. Dom and the crotch, they got to bump uglies. Let's bang it out. Let's just get this job done. But alas,
I'm
it is.
so glad she died, so this never happened.
But alas, it is not to be. You could have just said it. Why don't you unmute, Rachel?
She's scared. Look, the cat is planning
talking.
devious actions.
Nice.
She is. Look at, she's right next to my microphone.
This is again. We got many notches in the human supremacy group right now. Just saying.
Hi, Rob.
Ixnay on the AdK. You know what I'm saying? 86 the AdK.
What? You shut your face.
I'm kidding. Anyway, so I just wanted to get your thoughts on that love song.
Well, yeah.
Should I
that's what
get
I'm
to the
saying.
bridge? Soft images lull us to sleep. Morning noises. We leave a message. Hey. That's the word
Hey.
of the bridge. Hey. I have to say this because I don't know what the translation of this means, but the first word of the bridge is potato.
Oh, my little potato.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
If it's my kind of love song, I love a potato.
I do
Can I
too.
say?
Baked chili chives.
You name
Cheese.
it. I'll take a potato any way you make it.
Yep.
Just drown it in butter, baby.
Sure.
Deep fry it. Whatever you got for me.
You do whatever you want to a potato.
Twice
and I'm
bake
gonna eat
it.
Mash it, flash fry it, twice over. Right.
Yep.
Anyway.
Yeah, basically I'm Bubba Gump, but with
Au
potatoes.
gratin it.
Yeah. Au gratin. Forgotten.
Scallop it. I don't care. Do whatever you want.
Potato salad sandwich.
Flip it up, rub it up, rub it down.
Right, potato. Twice.
Baby got potato. Anyway.
That's
Look,
me.
I was arguing with somebody online not too long ago, and they called me a potato like it was an insult. I was like, dude,
I'm
that's
the most
not an
versatile.
insult. Everybody loves
tuber.
potatoes.
Facts.
Exactly. Facts. Ireland. Word to your mother. I don't know. Doom 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 doo doo doom doom.
Wow.
What's
I
happening? So
I
many
don't
things
care
are
whether something happened between Dama and Croat or not, but I'm upset she's gone.
I am
I was
too.
enjoying that character.
What was the thing that was stolen from her? We'll never know. These things that The Walking Dead does
I
to
was
us.
so
bigger-
happy.
I'm not.
Oh.
But who else knows besides the people that are with? Okay, first of all, let's assume she's telling the truth about Negan's family. Okay,
Mm-hmm,
for just a second.
Yeah.
Who else
Great
besides
question.
her knew where they were?
Whoever she sent to get them.
Exactly. So the person who's with them currently is the only person that even knew. So now what? So now Negan has nothing. Like nothing.
Well, she doesn't technically know anything either, because all she knows is that I'm guessing they're in Appalachia.
Well, I don't know.
Am I
Maybe
saying it
they're sending
right?
Carrier pigeons or something. I don't know.
Bridget? Judgment, Bridget?
Appalachia.
Yeah.
Appalachia.
Okay. No, Appalachia.
Yeah, correct. Latch. Not leash.
Appalachia.
Not leash.
Gotcha.
She said that.
So she's assuming that
So
that
gross.
that they
'Cause it is
found
gross. When you
the,
guys say it like that, it is gross.
well, she's assuming that they found the Smiths. First of all, they don't, does she know? She's assuming they're on their way back. Oh, they must be over Appalachia now. I'll pray for them. Really? Really? I don't know. She said that
Why did you do the tap it? You
because
did the
that's what she
tap it
did.
to
She
that.
tapped. I'll pray for them. I'll pray.
She does. She does do that.
Why are we tapping things?
I don't know, man. Tap it.
Tap
Oh, that's
it.
another thing, right? She taps Negan
tap it.
and Bruegel. People to tap. Not a great parallel.
No, I'm just obsessed with that part of that last episode.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I feel like that's a play. Like he's literally in a musical. Like a Sondheim musical. Oh my god. And he dances in like this. With arms astride. Anyway, whatever. Whatever. Let's move on.
I'm late
right?
to the party.
Oh yeah. Okay. So let's go to that for a hot second because shave and a haircut 2 bits, the knock on the door.
I didn't notice it, but
Cute.
love that.
Oh, I did.
Cute. Very cute.
Oh, I couldn't hear
that's what-
either.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you
I
couldn't see or
I couldn't
hear.
see the TV, so that I couldn't hear it.
Don't you hate that? When you can't
That's
see
what
a TV,
Negan-
you can't hear it?
That's what
Yeah.
Negan did at Alexandria.
Yeah, he did with the bats. That's right.
So that's when I heard it, I was like, oh dang, Negan showed up. But I'm like,
That's who I thought it was.
Then I had like a million thoughts, and then that happened. Well, you saw
and
the
then it was
process.
Bruegel, and then it was Bay.
And what is it meant to tell us? Because what did I say in the episode prior? What did he whisper into Bruegel's ear? I was wrong about it. I said,
Well, I assumed he was like, dude, I know your guys
your
alive.
secrets.
I know your secrets.
Fine.
but in
Keep
addition
your
to
secrets.
that, I thought he said to Bruegel in the last episode, it's going to Rob Lucchese was thinking before, he had commented on the TikTok clip that we posted about the secret that he told Bruegel. And part of it was, yes, Tony, his walker battle biter, but also, where is the methane? St. Patrick's Cathedral. He tells Maggie this, and it wouldn't be strange if he told Bruegel this, but he didn't tell him that. Excuse me. Pardon me. I guess, interestingly enough, he probably said to Bruegel, if you want to know where the methane is, go to the foragers, because I entrusted that to Maggie to decide what she wants to do with it. So I'm not wrong, but I'm not right, too.
Oh. Well, here's a theory, Dave. Here's
And
a
when you
wild
get there,
theory.
use the
Okay.
shave and a haircut 2 bits knock, because that'll make the audience think.
That's a lot of words. He did not have time to say all of that.
It was
He
quite
said
a
all-
long
he said,
whisper
like-
session, by
said
the
all
way.
of it.
No,
He
here's
whispered
why you're
for like
wrong.
5 minutes.
Also, here
It
is where the methane
no.
is, and if you want to go here, it's in the middle of Central Park, and then if you go here, then you go there. See, that's
No.
enough, right?
No, he was like,
That's it.
bro, I know your secret.
That's
Secrets out.
it was a
Secrets-
long ass
secrets-
whisper.
Secrets out, babe.
Not
It was
That's
long
not
enough for the
that
Dama to
long.
kind of stand up and go, what's happening? I mean, there's a careless whisper, which takes 2 seconds, and then there's, is
Oh my
he?
god, I should have noticed Uncle Fester before.
Oh my god.
Exactly. He had enough time to even mention that.
Here's my wild theory. Okay? Here's my
Careless
wild
whispers.
Theory. Here's my wild theory.
Nobody knows what I just
Bruegel-
did, by the way, on the audio podcast. Just stood up like the
Just
Dama.
stood up.
And you got a
Dying.
crotch
Stood up.
shot, I
And-
guess.
And
so-
Uncle festered for whatever reason.
Oh, did I swish? Did I swish?
You did. You did.
I should have swished.
You did like this
Um,
awkward rotation.
Yeah, I was like, hey, what is he doing? What is being spoken about
Okay.
at this moment?
I think that Bruegel is the one who cut the wire.
Okay.
I think Bruegel did it.
Yeah.
And I think
Electricity?
Sure.
that he left that knife there because he won all of Christos' weapons.
He did
Oh,
mention
yeah,
that.
he did win all
I
of
don't
that.
disagree with
You're
that.
right.
And Christos
did.
was
He
like,
would've had
I
it."
don't know what the F this dude is talking about.
And
Which
also,
is fair,
I'm about to
because
pass
he
out right
sounded
now.
crazy because he sounded absolutely crazy. And everyone looked like they were in really rough shape at that point.
Christos would have admitted it too, right? Like, why wouldn't he be like, yeah, that's right. I took your power out. Like, that
Well,
would be a Christos
maybe.
thing.
Well, I mean,
Maybe.
there's refusing to fight your army, and then also not making the dumb mistake of being on the other side of that war, right? Because if they're fighting with New Babylon, why would you want to be in the crosshairs as your?
He doesn't seem like the smartest dude.
But isn't the thing that we learn with his conversation with Negan is that they're the same? The only reason why they didn't get along is because like meets like, and there's a repulsion effect. Because the whole thing with Christos was that he is Negan. He needs to be this way to first of all, not look weak, which is a theme of this episode. People
Yeah.
do the wildest things when they think they're looking weak.
I'll give. Thank you, Rob. Rob sees my genius. Thank you, Rob.
I'm with you 100% too.
I think
We're on the same side, Rob.
I think that Bruegel. I think this is part of Bruegel's. I said it first, actually, Rob. Somehow, even though nobody
Rob.
heard me say it, I said it first.
No, I'm on your side about you being right, Bridget. That's what I'm on the same. Why are we fighting, Bridget? Is it because you love me?
Shut up, Dave. I hate you right now.
I'm not your mother.
So I'm not your mom, Dave. Stop. It's weird.
It's weird because I'm younger than you.
It's weird. That is weird. I think okay, so to some degree Rachel's right. Like he's not a great leader because of the gambling. It's like you should have just called it quits.
He's got a gambling
You know what I mean?
problem.
He's got a little bit. It was like I've got to dig myself back. Now I have to dig myself back out, and it's like okay, well this is a perpetuating thing that
Right,
you're
the
going to continue
fallacy.
to lose because the game is fixed.
Well, he at least he figured it out.
Yeah.
That I got to cut my loss. We lost our home, and I have children. I said it like that. I said what I said.
He lost everything,
Yeah.
basically.
Again.
Yeah. But I think this is the game that Bruegel's playing is like, oh, well, I'll just play them against each other and then I'll take whoever's left, which is already down another army and down the leader of the head, quote unquote, army.
And who is that if not Negan too? I'll just play them against each other. And see,
Yeah.
he just did that this episode too.
Yeah, he did.
Ay, 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 ay. This is getting so not confusing, but so many parallels. Do unto others what you do unto others would do unto you, would do unto you. And then where does that leave Herschel too?
There is. And also there's the parallel of like the Dahmer really died because of her own hubris.
I had to digest that one.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's very similar to Negan's story. Like the inability to see that maybe someone would be tough enough or stern enough or even just like consistent enough to be able to take you down.
Oh, persistent. Yeah, right. I see what you're saying.
Sorry, persistent would be a more accurate word.
And
so
I had the same thought this episode too.
So really, it's like like the Croat does the deed technically. One, it's accidental because like he couldn't have done it on purpose. I don't think. I don't think it was in him. He loves her too much.
Well,
but given the opportunity to save her, he goes, maybe not. You just bit
I
me.
heard him say
That's
that.
weird. And that's weird.
In his Croatian
He
voice.
went, maybe not, and he walked away.
I'm going to run away. He's going to narrate to you. I'm going to run away. Sorry. I want the Croat following me everywhere and narrating everything I do now. I didn't.
Yeah.
There's a pain in my tummy, so I go to the bathroom. No? Okay. I have feelings going to eat now. This is me.
The more you do it, the more you sound like a vampire.
He does.
It's in the neighborhood.
I want to suck your blood.
I want to suck your Croat. I don't. Anyway, whatever.
Whoa.
I'm done. It's fine.
I'm sorry. It's getting to be like you're doing Bruegel doing the Croat.
I want a carrot. Carrot. It pleases me to have a carrot.
It pleases me to have
Anyway.
more carrot.
Read the chat. Read the chat, Bridget.
Well, Rob
In
says
Croatian.
no. Rob says Herschel's gonna flip out when he finds out that she's dead.
Oh.
Yes, brother, you
Oh,
are right.
Rob.
You are right.
Maybe. That's kind of what I wanted to get. Was the door that you thought was a rat?
I'm sorry. There's a haunting happening. It's an active aunt.
You'll be visited
Someone-
by three
Someone called
ghosts.
Zach Baggins.
Where's the chains? The chains, the little chains on the ground. Anyway, so not bad, but that's actually what I want to get to next. Isn't throughout this episode, there's a bunch of people who are doubling down because they feel like if they don't, I'll look weak. Ginny does this with the gun to Herschel when Maggie gets the jump on Nervaez, and because if I don't, I can't get what I want. If I don't do this, point a gun at Herschel, I'm not going to get what I want. But then when she sees the prospect of the comedy of errors that she's done to lead Maggie to the point where she has a noose around her neck, I think she relents, and so does Herschel, which gets him to finally admit, yes, this woman that I drew is a real person who happens to just be a nice person who thought, in his view, that wanted a better future for New York, in his point of view. She was just a nice person who wanted to know what I thought, and because of that,
Yeah, just a nice person who held me captive and cut off my toe.
Do it in the
Super
voice of your student,
nice.
Bridget. Oh, Miss Dama. Right? Isn't that though? Isn't that the same thing though?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same.
Same energy, right?
Well, I just was thinking about like the Stockholm syndrome thing that's going on with Herschel and the Dama.
Mm-hmm.
But we are looking at that through our modern day lives. We're not looking at it through Herschel's eyes. Herschel, who has already been through stuff like this before, he's seen other people go through stuff like this. To him, being kidnapped and your toe cut off is just par for the course. That is just what happens to everybody in this world eventually, right? Maybe not that exactly, but
you mean
it's always something is going to happen to you all the time, because that is how he's lived his entire life. Is something is always happening to me,
and he can roll with
my
it
family
faster.
or to people I love. Right. So for him, it's like, well, at least sure she kidnapped me and she did terrible things, but hey, she was nice to me and she let me draw and she promoted my art and
Which is unusual.
encouraged me to express myself, which is unusual in this world. So us, yes, looking at it, we're like, how could he do that? But looking at it from his point of view, it's not that hard to understand.
Honestly, it really helped me see his point of view a little bit better, because if you do think about it, like outside of all the brainwashing that we see from the objective viewpoint, there is something to be said about, like, I mean, in a way, she was persuading him to be on her side. She initially roughed him up. It was her orders for the Croat to beat him up initially, but everything was all in her court after that to make her look the best. Yeah, I know it's kind of insidious in a way, but I mean, I don't know. If you think about it, to soften up somebody to that point where they can accept your vision as their vision, that sort of thing. I mean, what's the harm in it, really? I mean, you're giving me a seat at the table.
Also, so we want to go back to the old way, but people who were born in the old times are terrible people. They're fighting and murdering and killing everybody. So why would he even be interested in going back to something that is the old world? That is the old way.
You missed my
And here's this
reaction.
person who isn't pushing him, trying to push him backwards, but like, yeah, I understand. You can move forward in this world and be something other than what your mom and everybody is pressuring you to be. That is from the past. I mean, I totally understand what she's saying, and I think it's amazing that she, as a person of her advanced age who lived in the past world, can understand where his vision is coming from. Which maybe she lost a son who had that same vision, and that's what she is always like, I lost this, but she now has someone else that she can pass, like, look, it's okay that you don't want to be the same way that everybody else was. Look at how terrible it is. Look at how terrible these people are. All they want to do is build up these things and then kill everybody.
Right, The Walking Dead is people.
I was with you. Like, I thought for sure she had like lost a son or something, but now I'm starting to think that the thing that was taken from her was her work.
Her prestige.
Yeah.
But she doesn't even want that back. That's a whole other thing, right? Isn't it?
Yeah. But she says like if something was taken from me, and so we assumed it was a person. And I'm starting to think that maybe it was like her line of work and what she was doing, because because she bit someone.
And wouldn't that be
But
the thing she lost a long time ago, way before the apocalypse even happened? But
Yeah.
she obviously didn't learn from the past where
No.
criticism is concerned.
No.
Um,
but she
I
can't get
just thought I
canceled
found it
now.
was really I thought it was really funny that her go-to is biting people. I like that.
I
Okay,
That
I
is
get it.
it's
I get
hilarious to
it.
me.
I get it. I've wanted to bite people too. I totally understand. It's like a natural reaction. That's our lizard brain coming out, right? We can't function just like, oh, we're gonna argue, but like, no, I'm gonna eat this person. Well, I get it. I totally get
Yeah,
it,
I mean,
comma.
an Eastern European snack is pointing in your face. You just got to bite that snack. Crunchy snack. Potato. He's a potato. I mean, he's a little kind of looking like a potato. Anyway, sorry. Just moving on. But it is very telling because it is very appealing to jump to your point, Sharon. It is very, 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 very appealing to jump from constant terror on the road because that's the choice your mom made. Something interesting. Let me go here, and then we'll go back to that really briefly because in the episode or insider, as we were wont to call it, since Bridget called it initially, just to give you context, Rob Lucchese, and we'll read your comment in a second. One of the first things that was said, and I'll repeat it again, is that Maggie and Negan, when they get together, it's just instant tension. But part of that is, and I noted this, as the more they talked about it, using less words really than more physical, like they just bumped fists. Like that's the only way Jeffrey D. Morgan could explain it. When Maggie and Negan get together, it's they're just bumping fists, tension. Anyway, so
Bumping something anyway.
but like
Yeah.
but it was brought up in this episode. Why didn't Maggie kill Negan? Nervaez says this. I'll take care of it. It's fine because I want to. I want the excuse. I want the permission to appeal to authority. But why not? And I finally figured it out, and maybe I could get your opinions on this. Because why does Maggie do why is she this constant dramedy of errors? Why is this decision she's always making these decisions that feel wonky or off, or like she's not the hero of her own story. She's constant victim. Well, if every decision that you make, you pin on this one fella, that you're this perpetual victim, or that you have everything, every bad mistake that you make, the Meridian, all the people who died, the Wardens, any Georgie, maybe even, we don't really know what her fate was, essentially, but if you can pin that on one person because you let them live, right? They're still walking around. When you pin that resentment on somebody out of necessity, you never have to blame yourself for everything that's gone wrong. You can always go back to that. It's all because of him. It's all because of him. If you kill him, there's nobody to blame but yourself. Because why would you want to kill that person when how can you possibly face all the errors that you've ever, and again, who can blame Maggie for everybody makes mistakes. Even if you make them over and over again, it's not like you're trying to do the same thing over and over again. You're trying these things out. What Rick didn't work over and over again. And it's hard to face those mistakes, but he did. But I can easily see somebody not wanting to face the fact that they've tried over and over again. It hasn't worked. And then after trying to go to settlement and trying to live on the road, like Bridget said last week, trying that out and seeing if that works because homes don't work, right? All the Wardens, Meridian went away. Well, then that was even worse. So, if this guy is walking around and living, you can always blame that one person. I mean, that's why she doesn't kill Negan. She can always rely on that to be an excuse.
You said, constant being on the road, constant terror, but it's also in the idea that even your safe places aren't safe, right? So they go to Alexandria, which is supposed to be the safe place, this harbor, and they still have stuff go wrong. They're in Meridian, which is supposed to be safe, and even that goes to crap. So it's not even just being on the road, it's that there's no safety anywhere. Even at the Bricks, where they've been relatively safe for a while, even that has been invaded and
Taken
so
over.
there's
Colonized.
no place safe. So you have that and I think that might be the difference between the old and the new. The old, we yearn for a place of safety. We yearn for safety and being safe. And that just doesn't exist anymore. And like that's the world that you have to grow up in, is you just can't be afraid of everything because everything is terrifying. You'll just live your life in constant fear, which is what our old people from the old world do, right? We're scared of everything. We're scared of walkers, we're scared of people, we're scared of losing our settlement. And I feel like that may be the difference between the old and the kids that have grown up in this. Fear is just, it's just there. There's no getting away from it. You can't build your way out of it. You can't there's no getting away from it. It's always going to be there.
One,
Well, they have nothing to compare it to, which is what we talked about last week, right? There's just nothing to compare it to.
the
So,
older you get, right?
all they've ever known.
Isn't the whole thing the older you get, the harder it is for you to change too? If you think about it, like, and if you live long enough, and Dama kind of says this, I've lived too long to rethink the world. I know what I know, and I can't unknow what I know in order to make this new reality. And isn't that Maggie in a sense too? I mean, I've known what it means to be safe, even a bit into the apocalypse at her father's farm. They had a good setup until Rick came, but they had a good setup for quite a while, and it worked for the longest time. And she, even before that, I'm sure it worked for the longest time. And
By
hard-
the way,
it's hard
this
to
is just
change.
another instance of our group shows up and destroys everything.
Well, Rob,
Hey,
Rob,
foragers, how you
Rob-
doing?
Rob
We're
said
gonna destroy you.
Maggie only had to be a catalyst for the New Babylon people to just take themselves out through incompetence.
yeah, we're
also.
weaponizing that incompetence, right, Rob?
Oh,
So it
What-
took,
what
in
a-
one in one
It's the Rick
fell
virus.
swoop, took out everybody.
what a
We're all
disappointing
infected.
use of Dasha.
Polanco.
Like, what an underwhelming use of such a great actress in that role. Like, there's no story arc, there's no character growth. We don't find anything out about her. She's just someone who wants to kill everybody because they won't do what she says. And that's just such a waste. It's such a waste of the actor. Not that Dasha didn't do great. She was great. It's not her fault. But she wasn't given anything to do except just be menacing.
This is gonna sound awful or weird. Do you think she's done yet? Is she dead? I mean, she will be soon, but is she dead?
Well, they were ripping the side of her neck out, so I'm fairly sure she's going to be dead.
I don't know.
Or do you think this is like whatever that guy's name was, where he like showed up?
Waylon?
again?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Waylon
Waylon.
killing Joan, right? Just
Uh,
shoving the sign through
I
her
mean,
leg.
I don't know. I feel like she's dead. Like,
All right.
No
fine.
one's
They were ripping
gone
her
till
throat
they're
out.
gone.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, for that matter, we
Dun,
didn't actually see the
dun,
Dama burn, so she could show up in the next episode.
Body double. Body double, right?
Ooh.
That's not unusual in
that.
soap operas. Oh, it's my evil twin who died. Lester, not Fester.
no, she shows up, but she's like in bandages, like a mummy.
Oh, love it.
Can
Love
I just say how
Ship it.
annoyed I was with Maggie when she's standing on that stool with the noose around her neck, and all hell is breaking loose, and she's just standing there. Girl, your hands are tied in front of you. Like after Ginny put you back up on the block, you were able to put your hands around it. Why did you stand there and watch everything going crazy and wait to get knocked off of your perch instead of just taking the noose off your neck? It just
I can
just
answer this
bothered
one.
me.
I can answer this one. They had guns.
But they were
I
all
don't
getting
know.
eaten. They weren't paying any attention to what she was doing. They were all getting eaten by walkers.
Well, they were
so-
weirdly ignoring the eating and were paying attention to
Well,
Maggie.
it was
for
so
some
loud they
reason.
couldn't hear the eating, right? They don't sound like big apples that they're
Oh,
crunching
because
into.
of the what?
Yeah, it was so loud. The din was so.
Even,
So
but
it
even
wasn't- it
Narvaez
was
didn't
very
scream when
weird
she
scene.
got bitten. She was like, "Okay, I'm getting bitten."
Well, that's kind of
Like, it
ironic,
was-
isn't it? Right? Everybody else is wailing, and Narvaez is like taking it like a champ.
They all sounded
Or like
like
a
us in
chomp.
David's car.
The slow motion.
It was a.
What movie
it
was
a
that from?
very,
The Austin Powers, I think it was. It was the
That
slow.
wasn't a movie. That was us 2
That was
years
really-
ago.
No, but it
Us in
reminded-
your car.
No, it reminded me of it wasn't Austin Powers was like a steamroller or something like that, and then the soldier's like 35,
Oh.
50
Oh
feet
yeah,
away.
it's
And
you
it's
were
that
just
guy
like-
from Mad TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks at watch. He just stands there. That's us. Over to
Okay,
you
so I do
guys.
have a question relating to this scene in which Maggie is being hung. Which one was a very unusual scene. The moaning, I have to say, is really off-putting. I know it's like it just something about it, I shouldn't say off-putting. It's
It's
unsettling.
unsettling. That's better. Off-putting
It's unsettling.
is like, F these people. F what they're doing.
Yeah, not that.
No,
Not that.
it's
It's
like-
like unsettling. It like makes me so uncomfortable.
So you're like New
when
Babylon
they
at
do it.
that moment. You're like,
Yeah,
I don't
and
like
I'm just
it.
like, I don't like this. Now I
And
get.
Dasha's like, stop them. Like with her
Well,
fisting,
and that was the thing.
right?
I was like, no,
With
they
fist
should
motion.
be allowed to. They should be allowed to mourn in however way they see fit. Don't just punch that guy right in the nose.
Although he had it coming, right? With the dreads. Come on.
Oh, okay.
He looked like
Weird.
a wildebeest. You know, anyway.
Anyway, moving on.
I'm kidding.
So Ginny is fighting with a walker and falls over.
Oh, she
was
falls into that-
stabbed?
So she had backed into what would like
I thought it had gotten her on the side, but then it shows that scene where
lifts up her
everybody's
shirt.
kind of like before Burgle shows up and she lifts up her shirt and it is through her.
It's a
It was
deep
on her
gash.
side.
Yeah,
It was like a deep gash on her side, and it was like wasn't it like a spike sticking out of the gate or something like
Yeah.
that she backed into it
into a wrought iron gate.
because I was reading a recap and they were like she got bitten. I'm like, no, she did not get bitten.
So that was I had to go
That
back
didn't
and
even look
rewatch
like
it.
a
No,
tooth
no, no,
mark.
I had to
no.
go back and
No.
rewatch it because
Yeah.
I was like, was she bit? And is she the kind of person who doesn't say anything when she's bit? So I had to go
Yeah.
back and rewatch it to see what had happened. And again, it's so dark.
You think it's a
How
walker,
can
but
you
it's her.
tell?
Yeah.
It's
And
it's
at
like
first, I thought she had pushed the walker into something, and that was what the close-up was.
No,
But that wasn't it.
that was her being pushed into.
but
the
like, why is
gate.
she hiding it? Like, you didn't get bit. You need to like,
Tetanus.
take care of that or something. Yeah, I just got a tetanus shot the other day. It was not pleasant.
I don't know. That's a really good question, though. I am curious to know what you think. I mean, maybe she thinks she deserves it for causing this chaos to begin with. Because had she not said anything at all, I was going to say Dasha. Thanks, Rachel. Narvaez would have been. I blame you always for that. Narvaez would have been taken out. The situation would have been handled. But yeah, I mean, isn't all this kind of her fault? She pointed a gun at Herschel to get Maggie to stop. And so I could see that being the case. I want to know what you guys think, though. Why doesn't she say anything? I'm surprised the thing isn't oozing or bleeding.
What is she gonna say? What is there to
Well,
say?
I mean,
you can't do anything.
Excuse me, I'm
You
hurt.
need to
Excuse
clean
me.
it
Shut
and
up.
stitch it. It needs
Well, she
stitches
could do
or
that.
something. You know what I mean?
She could do that herself.
Yeah, but it's behind her. I don't know that
I
she.
thought it was like
I think
It's just a little
on
bit
her
behind her.
side.
I mean, it's still she
Like,
can't reach
it's
it.
kind
It
of on her.
seemed-
Yeah, it's kind of like
it seemed like it was
on her
full
side
out.
and back.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
back. Yeah,
punch that part of my
that's
side.
that's not a very easy. You can't see it first of all at all, so you don't know what you're doing back there.
Okay, it also happened at the reveal happens at the end of the episode.
Right.
We don't know if she's not going to say something. She might say something next episode.
Good point.
Be like, guys, it's starting to hurt.
But
Give
you
me
know
a-"
what?
I wonder if there was was there like walker blood or something on this spike, and that's what she's worried about? Because was a walker shoved into it first, and then she sliced herself on it? Because I could see her being worried if she was worried about being contaminated. Because I mean, we know from the main show that works sometimes.
all the more reason
you
to
get-
speak up.
Yeah.
I
She's
agree.
Pulling a Jim.
I agree.
She's like, no, they'll kill me.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, maybe.
100%. That's how that works.
And so why does she want to live and not be cut off basically from her mission? Is that what we're thinking maybe? Or live long enough to help them? I still think she wants to go after Negan, but I do think she realizes, because she does save Maggie from the hanging. Like in the chaos, she does put the stool up so that Maggie couldn't get herself off and get down from her perch and go inside. Well, after saving Herschel too. So
Rachel,
Yeah.
how pleased were you how pleased were you to see the noose around Maggie's neck?
I was very pleased, and then immediately like, well, obviously she's getting out of this one, so
I got nothing to
I
say.
um
I got nothing
I
to
was
say.
I was interest. It was interesting to watch Roxana's death, because the first person we saw get hung in this series, it happened by asphyxiation. Like he choked to, like he strangled.
Oh,
This was
Jason
an
Ornell.
actual.
Yeah.
Sure, who cares?
It's just so
This
it's
time
the fact that we know his last name is so surreal and weird. He was
This
at the
time we
camp
actually-
too, wasn't he?
I don't.
I think he was at the camp. Jason Ornell was like announced.
Was
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
Like as a last minute entry. Either that or Scream City. Sorry, just wanted to mention it out loud.
Yeah,
His name is Avi something.
Jason Warner Smith was as a last minute.
No, but there was the actor who played Jason Ornell on Dead City. His name is Avi something or other. He was announced as one of the. He's just like a.
Maybe
late,
that's for Screams.
Might be
maybe
for
it's
Scream City.
Scream City, yeah.
Head to thecampevents.com to check it out and call me out on that.
Oh, I'm
Sorry.
gonna look right now. I'm gonna look right
So,
now.
so to your point, Rachel, the first thing you see is this guy hanging, and wouldn't it be silly to see Maggie hanging also, or
No,
Roxana?
Not even close to what I was right in the middle of saying. But
Sorry,
thank you.
I was trying to get you back on the track. Sorry.
No, I was just waiting. So no, what I was saying is, we've seen New Babylon carry out these punishments before, and the first person we saw die, like they hoisted him up, right? It wasn't, they didn't kick anything out from under his feet. They hoisted him up and he strangled to death, which is brutal. In this scene, we see Roxana and they kick the stool out, and she's actually hung the way
Her neck breaks.
this contraption is meant to work.
Right.
Now,
Well, and
we could go into all the math that goes around a hanging and tell you that none of that was accurate. But I do appreciate that they portrayed this in the way that it was supposed to, how it's supposed to go, in which, it snapped and dislocated the vertebra instead of strangling.
right.
Which
Well,
is
let me just say,
somewhat humane.
I can see how this would be a problem initially because I'm a man of a certain height. And it's so hard to find a footstool sometimes to reach up for certain things. So I can see how they didn't have, they're in the front of New Babylon. You have to wait to get a stool to get him up on the thing. So just hoist him up and just, you know what I mean? It's like,
Sure, but
Yeah.
there's a mathematical equation that you have to follow when you're hanging somebody, and it has to do with your
the weight.
weight, your height,
Yeah.
the length of the rope, even sometimes the tension of the rope, and the height that you have to be standing in order
The
for it
age.
to even work.
age
The
to-
age of the rope factors in too, because after
Yes.
uses ropes stretch. Yeah, it's very
absolutely.
precise.
Yeah, we also silo, right? Oh, okay.
I
never mind.
I did a very in-depth speech in high school about capital punishment, and I spent a lot of time on hangings.
The science
I've
of
just read a
hangings.
lot about it.
Was there a podcast about it too?
Probably.
Podcasts didn't exist when I was in high school.
When were you in high school?
400 years.
Four score and
It's
20
been
years
84
ago.
years.
25
No, it's
years
only
ago.
It's only been
25 years.
3.
Oh, okay. I was close.
23.
It was in the neighborhood.
You're a liar, by the way, Dave.
Do you want to read
That,
what?
that dude wasn't announced anywhere. So
He was. He was.
So
really
thank you
wasn't.
so much
just
for
look-
interrupting my train
I
of
just
thought for nothing.
For nothing.
For nothing.
You're assuming a lot, Bridget, and I know that it was announced. I'm just saying. It's no for a fact. that it was
you're
announced.
assuming a lot. You're assuming a
You're
lot,
assuming
despite that you just
so
researched it.
much. All right, Bridget, read the chat.
Rob said that the actor that I said was from Mad TV is the only person to have been killed by Mike Myers in Austin Powers and Michael Myers in Halloween Kills. And I forgot that he was also in Halloween Kills.
Oh,
he was a
dang.
really great character in Halloween Kills. It was awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really good to see him in that.
Rob Lucchese with some factoid knowledge.
Love it.
I love that we brought that up now. Via our own mishaps. Where do we go from here, though? I'm kind of curious how much there, because this episode was kind of like a kind of flew by, in my opinion.
It did. Yeah. There was. I don't.
Before we started, Rachel, when you were still watching, right when you got to the part with the rat, I said that I was talking about that part. And I was like, that was totally unnecessary. And literally, like a second later, like that scene was so unnecessary. So thank you
Having not heard
for agreeing.
Sharon D.
Yes.
I did say out loud, people are stupid, and so sometimes you need to show them the thing so
The
that they
thing that
get it.
happens.
Negan scraping the bloody guts
Yeah,
from the
guts from
underside
the
of
Needed
his
to
boot.
Yeah.
know that he was the one who actually smushed the rat, which, like, dude, could you be more of a monster?
Excuse me, I support squishing the rat. 100%.
You
No
know
My
what?
husband yelled from the other room,
No regrets.
Michael McDonald! And I thought he was talking about the singer, songwriter, and I was like, there's no way that's right. But that is actually the name of the guy from Mad TV. It's
Oh.
Michael McDonald.
He's Stewart. He plays
He
Stewart.
played Stewart.
Who played Stewart? Stewart's mom is played by Mo Collins.
Doreen.
Huh?
Doreen.
Oh,
Doreen.
right. Stewart's mom, Doreen, is played by Mo Collins?
Mo Collins.
Collins.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So many names.
Kill all the people that you want in the show, but leave the rats and the dogs
Nope.
and the horses. Because, you know, they gassed the dogs too. I was very angry
I'm
about
sorry?
that. You know, kill all of
Oh,
Christos' people. I don't care, but you gassed the dogs. Dogs didn't do anything to you. The rat didn't do anything to you. Leave it alone.
Well, you're waiting for me to say something. I'm not.
No, that was my opinion.
I'm just saying more food for
Kill all the
everybody
people.
else.
I don't care. Kill the little kids. I don't care. Kill all them. Kill all the people. But leave the animals alone.
I will eat
Christos
the animals.
Christos had a much bigger army than what was in that room, right? So where's everybody else?
That's like a vertical building. Which, by the way, I did research to find out where that building was.
You're not answering
Worcester.
my question.
Worcester, Massachusetts. I found the building itself, by the way.
Okay.
But it was a
You're not
vertical
answering my
building.
question.
There's like
I
a
don't
higher.
care. I asked a question.
It's like multiple floors. By the way, okay, so let me.
Okay.
Okay, that's a very good.
Awesome.
It's a very
Cool
good
building.
question.
Dude.
Just so you know, New York City, when there is a methane leak in a building, the methane will seep up to different floors, which is why it's such a huge danger for everybody involved. This is why they mandated methane detectors in every building and every floor and basically almost every room and hallway. Because when one person detects it, they must alert the cops so they can bring them in for the whole building so that it can be cleared out so that that problem can be resolved. I can easily make the assumption if there are many other people in Christos's army, they would have gone to every single floor as the gas traveled upward from the bottom floor to where everybody else was. So you could imagine that there's more people than just the people they just killed. They're all passed out.
Well, obviously.
from
I mean,
methane
they're not going after this group of people because there were 6 of them.
Well, right, yeah. It was like a whole, whatever the room was, 25 people.
So we're just supposed to assume that the whole building was gassed and they went floor to floor killing them all.
Yep,
I feel like
systematically.
that's a big assumption.
Well, I mean, Karat says as much. He
They're
says,
going to take the time to show us Negan picking rat guts out of his shoe, but not make it clear that they slaughtered an entire building full of people.
well, Karat said
like
it. We left the
seems like
women
an
and
odd
children. We just killed all the men. And they actually showed
Oh,
them killing all the men.
I must have walked away.
Yeah, no,
There-
like...
I have a hard time sitting still, so I got
Oh,
up
okay.
and
Okay. Well, just to clear that up, after Negan
Okay.
is escorted out of the room, they're like just whacking all these guys who are all passed out.
So
And
they
there's
did
like the
make it clear
CGI
that they
blood
killed everybody.
splatter everywhere.
Okay.
It's gruesome, actually. So yeah, that's a good assumption. It's a great assumption. Which is
Rob
like
wants to know what we thought of the Croat's real name.
Millet. M-I-L-E-X-O-N-T.
Save me, Millie.
I thought it was great.
I was excited. You guys saw my reaction to that.
It's fun. Yes, yeah. He has a name.
that the Croat?
That's how you said it. It was like,
Is that what I
he
said?
has a name. Something like that. Just I'm giving you the play-by-play of what we saw just before we went live with Rob Lucchese. It was like, it was just the best. I miss our like Dave/Dre reacts.
Right.
Yes.
I miss our little live reactions too. Those were fun.
Oh no, Jerry! Oh no, Jerry! Jerry, no! Jerry, no! No, 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 Jerry, no! So much fun to edit, by the way.
Is Emile the Croatian version of Miles?
I don't think
Like,
so. I think it's the shortened version of Milosh. But I'm curious now. Thanks.
Milosh. I like that name. I like that. Milosh.
Rob also says, "Oh my gosh, a kitty."
Yeah, that's right.
Don't be fooled by her cuteness, Rob. She's demanding that she knock over the microphone.
She is very
Fiona
demanding.
is
I'm
an
wrong.
agent of destruction.
Oh.
All
She
cats
says,
are agents of
"Screw
destruction
you."
in various degrees. But
That's
let me
true.
go to the name. Okay, you pushed it. Now I'm going to say it.
Okay.
The name Mile is a masculine given name found in Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia, Montenegro, North Macedonia, and Bulgaria. It's often found as a contraction of the name Milan or Miodrag. The name is a diminutive of Miodrag, Milan, and other names containing the Slavic element milieu, meaning gracious or dear.
Aw.
And also, so like, okay, again, going back to my theory of the Dama only criticizes people she cares about. Dear, Mile, dear. Oh, it's kind of like in her last, like, right? In No Atheists in Foxholes, she's actually, dear, save me,
She
dear.
should have called him Mile earlier.
From
You
the
know what
start,
I mean?
baby.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't a, let's role play with that bellhop outfit, baby.
She never really addresses him as the Croat either, though, does
No.
she? She never really calls
She's like
him.
you.
She
Yeah.
was like him.
She's just like
he,
him.
This guy.
He's the bad guy. Oh,
Yeah.
what an idiot. Your competence knows no bounds. It's often pronounced Mile and is cherished for its association with love and kindness. See, this was what I was waiting for. If this is in fact where this is going, I don't know. Because again, every single episode I've been commenting, I do not like that the crowd has been it's just like reduced to a punchline. When last season it was kind of like, as ridiculous as he was really smart and intelligent. And I mean, you had to give him props for some of the explosions and the timings and the candle thing. Do you remember that whole thing? The exploding metal ends, or was it not the metal ends? Madison Square Garden with that candle thing with that and the explosions in the first season.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember. The first season was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
So I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. Good question though, Sharon D. About the Mile. I don't know if there's anything else to really talk about. I mean, I can go through some of my capitalized, but
I want to comment real quick on how, as always, the cinematography in the show
despite the
is
darkness,
beautiful. Well, I'm thinking of more like when Maggie and Herschel were sitting out on the bench in the grass field, and I mean, just how beautiful. Like they're no matter what else goes on, they are always the best at just getting beautiful shots and scenes.
I mean,
always
their team knows how to find a spot. You know what I mean?
right.
They know
Yeah.
how to find like a good spot for filming.
And it's just
They really do.
there's in every episode there's just at least one scene that's just stunning from the way they shoot it. So I just want to shout that out because they always have the best cinematography.
maybe going to that. Where do you? Okay, so you had said earlier that when Herschel finds out that the Dama, whose name we don't know, just want to say that out loud, that he will be really upset by this. Whereas at the end of the episode, you kind of get this idea that he's fessing up. He saw his mother almost die. And in my mind, I'm thinking, what is it worth making this vision of his? Because isn't, along with the idea, the theme of not wanting to look weak in order to expose your position, right? To make people walk all over you. There's that theme running out through the whole episode. The other theme in this episode is really making a decision so a decision isn't made for you, or seeing that the end of the road of the vision that you wanted, and which reminds me of Rick, by the way, the Carl's vision and Rick wanting to make that happen. It seems to be coming up throughout every episode, and him having to finally put that dream to bed to save everyone. Is Herschel, so maybe this is the first question, is Herschel seeing his vision impossible? And this is why he starts finally fessing up to Maggie? Because if it means my mother has to die for that dream to come alive, what is it worth? Wasn't this all for my mother, to show her that there's a new world that we can explore and not be stuck in the old one? But is he seeing that dream die now with all this craziness going on? That this all this led to. He admits himself when he started seeing the soldiers coming out from the water the way they were, the dead ones. I'm assuming that's not what he wanted at all. And then putting his mom in danger. So is
I
he
don't think he
seeing?
wanted. I don't think he wanted death in this like idyllic future. I don't. That's the whole thing. That's what he hates about the past is that all of these people that he knows that are related to the past are constantly fighting to get things to be the way that they used to be. That's what he says. It's all about power all of the time. And he just doesn't want anything to do with that. So I don't think that he saw it as, oh, this is how it's going to go. Whereas the Dom is like, I'll sacrifice whoever I need to get it here. I don't think he was privy to that part of that thought.
Right. Well, yeah, that side of her. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And now he never will, maybe, I guess? Or,
You know what? Who never will though? Benjamin Pierce is going to die for real.
oh, we haven't gone back to him. Good call.
No. Did somebody forget him in the trunk now?
I
that
forgot.
she's
Oh,
dead?
right.
Is he
Hello?
just in a trunk somewhere?
Hello? Excuse me? You said there'd be
So-
better accommodations in the next episode.
I'm not even gonna lie. In the opening scene, when he's picking out that outfit, for like a second, I was like, "Ooh, I thought it was gonna be Pierce."
Like Pierce was going to be like dressed up.
Yeah,
Nice. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I did.
Well, he did say
These are
better
some nice
accommodations.
accommodations.
Croat taking a page from the Dama's book, I guess. I don't know. And he still
Going back
chooses an
to
ugly
Herschel.
shirt.
Going back
I
to
think
Herschel. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just really quick on Benjamin Pierce, and then we can go back to Herschel. I was gonna say, I actually, the Croat may use, as much as I joke about he's gonna die, the Croat may use him as like, oh no, he's writing my biography now, this guy, because I'm of great importance. Now that I'm the leader,
Mhm.
He's a scientist through and through.
It could be interesting.
he could use it. I don't know. We'll have to see.
We
Otherwise,
could write a science
bye-bye.
book, a science biography.
Or maybe he could see something in
Look
Benjamin
at-
Pierce.
I saved the world by making methane possible in the city.
Well, assuming the ends happen the way the Croat wants them to. Well, because isn't the lesson that Rick learned by keeping Negan around that, or the lesson that we're to take away ultimately by leaving Negan around is that he ends up saving the Whisperer, saving our group from the Whisperers because he gets involved. And though Hilltop does burn, it saves most of the people. I mean, Negan is instrumental in saving our group from the Whisperer War, essentially.
Correct, but really it's Carol. But yeah.
Yeah, ish, right? Ish, because she
Yeah.
causes a
'Cause
lot
he wouldn't have been let free otherwise.
yeah,
She was like, "Go do my bidding, my little
hither."
ferret."
my little ferret Negan.
Because I don't. Sorry, that's like it's from Beastmaster. I don't. My friend and I used to say that a lot when we were younger. Be like, "Do my bidding, ferret." It was a reference to Beastmaster.
No,
I'm
I get
sorry.
you. I get you.
Throwback.
Nice friend that you have there. Well, I guess my point is that could you see Negan sparing the Croat in this similar fashion to kind of keep order of New York City? Because he managed to, I guess, run it ish. I don't know. I mean, as horrible as the Croat sounds, and as ridiculous as he is trying to get Negan's approval, Negan, that whole thing. I'm hard pressed to say that he's a bad guy. I mean, he was definitely, just like Negan, he was definitely a bad guy. But
Well, I told you, I'm a bad guy now, and they're my heroes.
okay,
So
that's kind of why I
it's
asked
the
the
clip,
question.
Dave.
Yep,
It's
it is the clip.
They're my heroes,
It's just
and
you.
I'm a bad guy now. So
Yep.
I-
You say great things, Bridget. Let's see. What do you feel, sorry, Rachel? Are you Bridgeting? Are you yawning?
What?
Are you feeling the same way? Could Negan spare the Croat for the sake of the city? I mean, there's kids now in the city. They spared Christos's women and children. Maybe even the dogs, Charity. Maybe even the dogs. They didn't do anything wrong.
I suppose it's possible.
What do you want to happen, actually? That's maybe a better question. with the Croat specifically?
I'm not sure I know enough about him yet to make a good decision about what I want for him. I haven't decided yet if he's really a good or a bad guy.
I guess isn't that the point?
Yeah.
That we could all be good guys? Question mark.
Well,
'Cause-
obviously, that's like the whole point of all of these shows, right? Like meeting the right people at the right time, and we're all the hero of our own story, and blah 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 blah.
Until we're proven not to be.
But I'm saying from a viewer's perspective, from my perspective,
Sure.
I haven't decided yet if he's a good or a bad guy. I don't know if I know enough about him, and I forget why him and Negan had a falling out. I know
'Cause he
they
killed a
told us,
kid.
but I forget.
Who was
Croat did.
supposedly a spy from some faction that we don't know of. Way back in the
Okay.
day. Yeah.
Okay.
And
I,
Negan
yeah,
did-
I knew they explained it, but I forgot.
One, we weren't. You were left wondering, like, was he actually a spy or is the Croat just paranoid?
Okay. Like, could he have been a little bit
Like, maybe
crazy
was
at
he
that
was
time?
just maybe an innocent kid and the Croat killed him, and that's why Negan was like, we didn't know enough,
Well,
but the Croat is really paranoid.
I mean, you guys, we forgave Carl.
Well, and see, when that just further cements the idea that even if he was a spy, Negan has a line
Yeah.
cementing that idea. It's like,
Carl
but
killed
Croat
a
doesn't.
kid in cold blood.
But Croat doesn't see it that way. And anyway, all our survivors, even Negan, sees that people are a resource. That was what the episode was called too, by the way, in season 1 of Dead City. People are a resource. To
Yeah.
kind of give you the idea that even if he was a spy, he's still a resource potentially.
I don't know. I feel like the Croat has the potential to turn into a tyrant and not be a good leader.
Okay.
I think Power. I could very easily seeing Power going to his head, and it ending very badly.
Well, then what does he have to live for if the Dom is gone? Too meaning
Yeah.
he can go full Croat, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that
I'm ready to
never
see
go
him
full Torat?
full up in his bellhop suit, just like another Bruegel.
Now I can do what I
ready.
want.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can dress in whatever suit I want. I thought it looked nice. Fuck.
And my dirty shirt.
And my
Yeah, I
that
like it.
dirty shirt. Now he'll be emboldened to wear all the dirty shirts. I don't like this. Where's the
No
Dama?
clean shirts for the Croat. Only dirty shirts.
I think you should just go shirtless. But hey, man, listen, you do you.
That is a look.
We've
That is-
reached
what
the
is
line.
he, Walton Goggins? Like, what?
Ooh.
Mr.
Okay.
Potato, I don't mind. He may have a potato head, but I don't care. What?
All
What?
wow.
What?
I just keep. Never mind. I'm getting flashes of. Oh my gosh!
Walton
What
Goggins?
we do in the dark?
Oh. She can't think now. She's just thinking of Walton
Yeah.
Goggins.
Oh.
No, the vampire show on Hulu.
Oh,
What we do in the
I know.
shadows.
Shadows. That's
Oh,
what
okay,
I
okay.
I
said
knew
dark.
what we were talking about. Yeah.
wait,
I said
what specifically
dark, I meant
now?
shadows. They're vampires. You sound like them.
Oh,
Oh.
oh,
Every
That.
time you try to do the Croat.
and what's his name? It's the tall guy. I love him so much, and I forget his name now. No, in real life, what's his name? He was also in Hocus Pocus. He was
Matt Berry.
Oh no, I'm not thinking him. I'm thinking the
Oh,
guy who
but
has
he's
that.
on that show. But he is on that show.
No, but the Transylvanian accent. He's very tall and lanky.
Yeah.
His real name is, and I love him so much.
Oh, I don't know his real name.
Well, not to interrupt this
Anyway.
absolute
This whatever's going on here.
whatever this Shark Tank that's happening here, this think tank of whatever this is. Rob says that he has to go due to fatherly duties.
No,
and that
no.
he'll catch the rest when you post the episode.
I
Have
don't
a great
allow
night,
it.
everyone.
It's fine.
Good night, Rob.
Good night, Rob. thanks for
Good
coming
night,
on, and
Rob.
asking questions, and having good insights. See, I was waiting for it, Rob. I was waiting for it. What was the latest Star Trek? What was it called? Not Odyssey.
Discovery.
Discovery. Yes, that's right. Let me get the cast, because now I'm obsessed. I have to know who I'm referring to, because he's in What We Do in the Shadows as well. He plays the Transylvanian old god person. It is Doug Jones. That's it. Doug Jones.
Oh!
He has the accent.
Oh, I thought you were trying to think of the other main
No,
guy.
no. Because
Never
you were
mind.
referring to the accent with which I was using that was similar to Doug Jones's character on What We Do in the Shadows.
No, that's not who I was referring to, but that's
Well-
clearly who you thought of. And I love that for you.
I love
That's
that for
great.
me too. Hocus Pocus.
But no, Doug
Oh
Jones
yeah, he
is
was
amazing.
in
Yeah.
Hocus
He
Pocus.
was the
That's right.
scarecrow-y, zippered up, whatever. Anyway,
Sorry.
I don't know what else there is to talk about. That's just a reality.
Yeah, that's why we started spiraling and talking about other
Yeah,
shows.
About
I
Doug
think we're done.
Jones.
You guys
yeah.
got to a
That's a
really
wrap.
weird spot.
And if you like Doug Jones, rate us on.
You had
Head
said
on over to ratethispodcast.com.
well, you had said hold on, Rachel. You'd said why are you upset that the Dom is no longer with us? What specifically about it? Is it just like there it just feels like there was more for her story to tell, or
Well, yeah, there was obviously more of her story left, and I enjoyed the character and the actress. I really love the actress. So,
Good
if I see somebody
riddance.
on screen that I like, I want to see more of them, right?
and Bridget says good riddance. Why?
I didn't like her. I'm glad she's gone.
What was it about her that you didn't like? Just unearned sort of clout.
Yes, unearned clout. You're a critic. You don't even do things. You just evaluate other people doing things. And how dare you judge my boy, the Croat, who is perfect in every way.
Wow! Wow! I'm
I told you I'm a
digging
bad
this
guy
take.
now. I'm a bad guy now, and I would have swooped into that spot. And I would have been like, "Hey, what's up,
What's up?
Croat and Negan? I'm your boss now.
I'm your
What you
little
think about
potato
that?
now. My little
What you think
croquettes.
about that?" And you know what? I'm not pretentious. So there's that. Better leader already? Yes.
Do you like these Uncle Fester outfits? I can pull that off way better than the dumber. She's dumber.
Dahmer.
She's
The
dumber.
dumber. That's like that time that I took the letters out of my brother's necklace. It's had his name on it. It said Morgan, and I took the G out and I said, "Hey,
Moron.
your necklace says moron now." And my mom said, "That says moran. Who's the moron now, moron?"
Don't you dare say anything about my son, whom I also get to criticize, because that's love, people. And if
I
you
love and never criticize. It's only you, babe.
only you, babe, that's love right there. And if you love us and want to criticize us, because that's what love looks like, is
Please
criticism.
do.
Head on over to
Love on it.
ratethispodcast.com/Squawking Dead, 5 stars and a bird cage. Is that an emoji out there somewhere?
Bird, just like a bird.
All right,
You
a
can find
bird. It's like an
Bird.
avian of some sort. Caw is all we need to know that you love us. But tell us what you liked. Tell us what you didn't like, especially that, because that's how we know that you love us. Just
Well,
remember
Santa's visiting.
to tell us. Oh, it's the ghost of Christmas present. Just remember to tell us
Good call.
in every episode. And if you really like what we're doing, head on over to ko-fi.com/squawkingdead or patreon.com/squawkingdead and join a membership tier for as little as $4 a month. However, you can also tip us and get forever access to our Discord on Ko-fi. Forever access means you'll get it and you don't have to relinquish it. And I think that's great for us and you. And you'll get 30 days of access to our unedited episode recordings, my pre-squawk insights, which I will actually release a big bundle of in short order because I've been slacking for some reasons. One thing I've forgotten to do because we've been going live for the last several episodes. Remember also, before I do the rest of my spiel, to, in your rating, let us know if you happen to like these unedited episodes, because when you do weigh in on them, we only have a few episodes left of Dead City to go in an eight episode season. This is the 5th. We've got 3 more to go. And if you like them, we will keep doing these unedited episodes. It's easier for me. However, don't let that be the factor. We want to do what is best for you, and what you think sounds better, is better, will always be better. One way or the other, we just want 10 reviews saying that you like the unedited episodes. And if you do, that's how they'll go. And if we don't get them, we'll go back to the usual routine. Anyway, if you happen to join the Whispers, Great M, or Survivors tier, you will get a free classic t-shirt upon signing up. If you join the Great M or Survivors tier, you will be able to show your damn face alongside us, lending us your thoughts with us in real time as we talk about these episodes. And if you happen to join the Great M tier, the Greatest Ish tier, you will join the core channel, where we will talk about all things behind the scenes that we can't share with everybody else, because you will be a junior producer and you're thoughts will have weight, and that weight will be heavily considered. You will weigh in on some of the thoughts that we have, these insights that we have about the podcast, and especially now that we're reaching the off season soon enough, it's going to be really, really important. So, yeah, do that or not. And again, if you just follow our Ko-fi or Patreon, we'll get the schedules to our upcoming recordings for free. You'll be able to join the studios for free when we're not going live. We just don't share those schedules on social media. We only share them on our Ko-fi and Patreon. It's free to get them. It's free to join. I've been your host, David Cameo, and I was joined by Cosmom09, Rachel Burt, Sharon D, a.k.a. Blazy Gardner.
And Bridget, you can find me at ko-fi.com/punkybrewster. That's PUNKYBRUISETER.
Yeah, and I don't know how I feel about this episode per se. Just in terms of overall impressions, there's a lot of setup for the final three. And even Eli Journet said that this was kind of like a mid-season finale with all these people dying, all these actors dying, the Dama and Narvaez in these episodes. And so the
Roxana
as well. Yeah, sure.
dying. And Christos. That's 4 deaths.
And
in one episode. That's
Christos.
insane.
That's right. So my guess is when he says that, it's kind of a signal that the rock is going to start rolling downhill. And there should be a lot of episode to go. And I'm actually excited to see where this ends up. Because some of these things might be setting up for bigger things to come. And I'm actually curious to see what that looks like. What about you guys? All right, Rachel?
Yeah.
I really hope that Maggie and Negan get teamed back up again. I mean, like, that was the draw for me of the show. And having them separated all season has really been kind of a drag for me. And again, not even in the hate bang way. I just think when they're on screen together, it's fun. And they have not been on screen together, so it just hasn't been as much fun.
I feel like I want to tease the one thing, but I'm not going to. Because there we are. But anywho.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
Yeah, like this video if you happen to watch it. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Tip us if you happen to like what you're seeing, because it goes a long way and helps us do what we do. Because without your help and support, we can't do it. Take care, everybody. We'll see you real soon. And hopefully we'll go live next week to talk about this episode at a reasonable hour for everybody to join us. See you next week.
Bye.
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 Bye.